Macy's has all of your Grill Master essentials for Father's Day. Stop by to get our hand-trimmed chicken breast and certified Angus beef patties that are ready to grill, so Dad can have his favorite dinner. Make sure to browse our bakery to find the perfect no-work Father's Day treat with our decadent peanut butter bars or famous donuts. Right now, you can get boneless beef ribeye steaks for $12.99 per pound at Macy's. Shop these Father's Day essentials in-store or online at Macys.com through June 18th. Macy's, happy shopping!
The mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
So welcome to this week's episode. I do hope your week has gone well so far. Thank you ever so much for listening, and if you need any more British accent practice, head over to my website at learningbritishaccent.com. But before you do, let's take a listen to Section 1. Section 1. American and British Misunderstandings. Could British English cause confusion? There are some phrases used in British English that have very different meanings across the pond. Fag is one, rubber is another, but I came across another instance of possible misinterpretation that potentially had quite serious consequences. Louise Woodward was a British nanny working in the United States. In 1997, she was convicted of involuntary manslaughter of an 8-month-old American baby boy she'd been looking after. It has been suggested that a misinterpretation of a phrase she used to the police could be one of the reasons behind her conviction. She told the police that she had popped the baby on the bed. Now, the police had interpreted pop to mean hit. But in British English, we use the word pop to refer to a quick, unimportant action, such as, I'm just going to pop to the shops. The nanny had meant that she had placed the baby onto the bed as a short measure, without too much thought or importance. Now, I've no idea the truth behind this story. It could obviously be complete nonsense, but it does serve to remind us how language matters and the importance of being understood. If you'd like some help so your English is clear in pronunciation and meaning, why not get the British Accent Bundle, which teaches you how to speak English with an RP British accent. Details are in the show notes, but you can head over to learningbritishaccent.com/bundle.
Okay, it's official. We are very much in the final sprint to Election Day. And face it, between debates, polling releases, even court appearances, it can feel exhausting, even impossible to keep up with. I'm Brad Milkey. I'm the host of Start Here, the daily podcast from ABC News. And every morning, my team and I get you caught up on the day's news in a quick, straightforward way that's easy to understand, with just enough context so you can listen, get it, and go on with your day. So, kickstart your morning. Start smart with Start Here and ABC News, because staying informed shouldn't feel overwhelming.
Section 2. Can British people tell if an American is putting on a British accent? The prize for the worst British accent always seems to land at the door of Mr. Dick Van Dyke and his Cockney accent in the film Mary Poppins. Apparently, his poor rendition of Cockney was due to the fact that the studio couldn't find someone with an English accent who could teach him correctly. In the end, they employed a recently arrived Irishman who swore blind he could teach Mr. Van Dyke the Cockney accent, the results of which can be seen and heard by the viewing audience. It's a great story, but it does highlight how important it is to learn from a knowledgeable teacher. As a native RP British accent speaker, I teach you how I sound. So if you like the sound of my voice, do get in touch. And if you want to know which pronunciations are a dead giveaway that you're not a native British speaker, check out my pre-module in Course 1 of the British Accent Bundle. Section 3. Why use one word when you know so many more? A new exercise has gradually been creeping into my daughter's English homework, which I have to say I'm not terribly impressed about. They are given a sentence from a book and then told to label the different parts of the sentence, such as the noun, verb, subject, determiner, etc. And then they're asked to make the sentence better by adding adverbs, fronted adverbials, conjunctions to extend, noun phrases, etc., etc. into this original sentence. To me, that's quite depressing. Now, I don't fall into the category of those who think that English is only good if it is longer and more complex, unless, of course, the subject matter necessitates it. I like communication that is clear, straightforward, and to the point. However, I don't think this overcomplicating of English is the fault of the students. It seems to arise because, firstly, the methodology of teaching and examining English in the classroom. This seems to put more credit onto those who use more adverbs, more adjectives and prepositions, rather than those who communicate more effectively. Secondly, for those who are non-native English speakers, a lack of general vocab knowledge and understanding of colloquial and idiomatic expressions and phrases can unwittingly result in using more words than necessary. If you haven't learned or are unaware of the simplest word option, then you'll use the language and phrases that you do know, which may result in a more roundabout or long-winded way of expressing yourself. One great example I came across from a non-native speaker who very astutely said, "In my language, the rain has nothing to do with cats and dogs. I have to write a long sentence to describe big rain." Of course, this speaker was referring to the expression raining cats and dogs to describe heavy rain. But it's not until your knowledge of English is broad enough to include these common idioms that you would be able to select such a phrase that allows you to precisely express a situation or condition. And lastly, flowery language can mistakenly be seen as a sign of sophistication, intelligence, and education. If the simplest word perfectly represents what you want to say, then please use it. If it is a word you use regularly, you are more likely to have got its pronunciation correct, and you'll feel more confident using it in conversation. Being and feeling confident is a great way to show sophistication, intelligence, and education. Get to grips with the basic words before you increase your complexity. Now, my British Accent Bundle takes you through the correct pronunciation of the top 500 words and the top 300 verbs, which I think is a great place to start. Section 4. The Daily Nudge. Did you know that I use my daily emails that I send to my Learning British Accent community as the basis of these weekly podcasts? If you'd like to start receiving them, then please go to the website, click on the Daily Emails tab on the navigation bar at the top of the website, and I will put the link in the show notes. So if you already subscribe, do you use these daily emails as a nudge to practice your English and your accent? Or do you use this weekly podcast as your weekly nudge? If you're not in a real-life learning community, it can be a struggle to motivate yourself to take action on your accent and English goals on a regular basis. When each email or podcast episode pops into your inbox or podcast catcher, why not start to see it as a daily or weekly reminder to actively practice and work on your accent? Knowing that the rest of the learningbritishAccent.com community is working alongside you as you do so. Now, you may not necessarily use the actual email content each day, but see it as a trigger to open up your British accent bundle and spend 5 minutes on one of the modules. Not got the bundle yet? Then please do sign up. The link is in the show notes, or go to learningbritishaccent.com/bundle. So I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. But bye for now.
Macy's has all of your Grill Master essentials for Father's Day. Stop by to get our hand-trimmed chicken breast and certified Angus beef patties that are ready to grill, so Dad can have his favorite dinner. Make sure to browse our bakery to find the perfect no-work Father's Day treat with our decadent peanut butter bars or famous donuts. Right now, you can get boneless beef ribeye steaks for $12.99 per pound at Macy's. Shop these Father's Day essentials in-store or online at Macys.com through June 18th. Macy's, happy shopping!